Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
The Smart India Hackathon, a breeding ground for innovation, has witnessed some of the brightest minds coming together to solve real world problems. Today, we turn the spotlight on the winners in the transportation and logistics category. The team whose innovation could propel India into a smarter and more connected future. Let's welcome Team Resonance. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the show.
Greetings.
So to begin with, let's have a quick introduction, and then let's start talking about the innovation that you've come up with.
Right. So I am Sahaj Garg. I am from Delhi Technological University. I am a third-year student pursuing electrical engineering.
I'm Garvit Singh. I'm a second-year student at Delhi Technological University, and I'm pursuing BTech in Computer Science.
My name is Shashwat Singhal. I am a second-year computer science student at Delhi Technological University.
Great. So good to have you guys here today with us. So to begin with, let's start with the problem area. What is the problem that you're working on, and what solution have you come up with? Okay, we'll go to the solution later. Let's keep to the problem first. What is the problem that you have solved?
Right. So our domain was transport and logistics, and we applied for a student innovation category. So before making the submission, we tried to find every problem that would be related to transport and logistics in a daily life of a person, specifically in India. So we could find out that there might be a lot of problems that a person would face in this domain with respect to halting in front of traffic signals for a very long time. I mean, long traffic jams and problems in different parking spaces because of, unorganized parking. And apart from that, other violations that a person might face due to overspeeding or jumping of red light, which are not that organized in the sector still. And there's a requirement of heavy police force required in these sectors for the penalizing of these violators. And apart from that, leaving the roadways aside, we also found out that big giants like Swiggy and Zomato these days are trying to incorporate a drone-based delivery system. So we looked into that as well and tried to solve different problems that might cater to that domain. So this was a gist of all the problems that we'll be providing a solution for.
So what is the specific area that you chose to work on?
Our solution is integrated and solves a lot of these problems in all of these domains. So that is one of our USPs. It's not just a solution for one problem. Herein, we are trying to solve multiple problems, forming an integrated system.
Oh, great. That sounds very interesting. So let's get down to the business. So what is this solution package that you have come up with? Let's get to know that.
Sure. So let's break it down into the 4 problems that we are solving here. Firstly, we'll go with the smart traffic mitigation. So in a daily life, as a person would see that a driver has to stand in front of the traffic signal for a static amount of time, irrespective of the number of cars in front of the signal. For an example, if I go in front of a traffic signal, if I'm driving at 6 a.m. in the morning and perhaps there's no traffic, then even if there's no traffic, I have to stand in front of the signal for perhaps say a minute or a minute and a half, according to the static timer that is there on the signal. But what we do is that our code helps to count the number of cars in front of a signal using the pre-existing speed cameras that have already been installed, and then analyzes the density of traffic in front of the signal in order to calculate the minimum time that the signal should run for green light and red light, so that the cars in front can be mitigated in the least time possible. And so we try to jumble with a lot of strategies here. We tried machine learning. We also looked into the past models that many other first world countries are using. But then we could all analyze that most of them weren't real time. So we developed our own algorithm, which I would now present to you, which helps to mitigate the number of cars in front of a signal according to the density in minimum time possible. So if you
Okay.
just allow me to share it to you.
Sure, let's have a look.
Right, so this is a glimpse of the code that we've written. So what it does is, for example, you give me a random number for a four-way intersection wherein there are four traffic signals and it's a crossway road. So give me some random numbers for number of cars on road 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Right. So we can have like 50 each. Okay, fine, as you've inserted there.
Okay, sure.
Also, to expand a little more, so basically what happens in daily life traffic situations is during different times of the day, there's different traffic from different directions. Like in the morning, there might be more traffic coming from one way, and in the evening, there might be more traffic coming from the other way.
Right.
So situations like these are where our solution performs the best. So usually, as you can see, like sometimes the traffic from all directions is usually not equal. It depends on the time of the day, and suppose if there's some event going on, and the traffic will be according to that.
Right. So as you can see here, we have entered 50 cars for each signal, and now it will give you the total count of cars and the time that a specific light has to go green for. So road 4 green for right and straight for 12 seconds, and number of cars will be 22. So if you incorporate all of these recommendations provided by our algorithm, the total cycle time that it will take would be 120 seconds, which is just about 2 minutes, and the number of cars that would be mitigated would be 220, which is quite high to the present system that has already been installed. And for proof of concept, we have also added a number of simulations and plotted a chart, which you'd be able to see here. So the yellow line and the blue line. The blue line is an algorithm that is just based on the density of traffic in front of the signal, while the yellow line represents the model that we've built. And you'd be able to see here that the total number of cars mitigated in a specific cycle duration is always higher for our model in comparison to the density-based model that you can see in the blue line. Apart from this, we'd also present another graph here, wherein we have also compared the number of cars mitigated, as we've already said, are higher, and the total cycle time, it is reduced for our model with comparison to the density-based model. So of course, if you compare it with the static model that is present in today's time, our model would help to mitigate more number of cars in less amount of time. So this is one of the problem statement that we were focusing on. Furthermore, we've worked on ANPR and OSVD. So ANPR stands for Automatic Number Plate Recognition, and OSVD stands for Overspeeding Vehicle Detection. So both of these systems are already installed in the present time, wherein the speed camera that has been installed helps to capture the number plate of violators who either jump red lights or perhaps are overspeeding. But the novelty that we present here is that we have ensured that all of these conditions are also met in harsh weather conditions. For say, if there is heavy amount of fog, like there is right now in Delhi in winters, or perhaps it's raining, it's hard for the cameras to capture the number plate. But we've used generative adversarial networks, also known as GANs, and what they help us to do is that they enhance the image of the number plate so that these violators are penalized even when the weather is harsh or perhaps it's difficult for the camera to capture the image of the number plate. And for simulation purposes of the same, I'd like to present few pictures that we've captured using our model, if you will allow me. Right. So as you can see on the screen, the image reads dehazing, reliable ANPR even during smog and fog. So this is what we've created. A simple flowchart on the right will help you understand the process that we are following here. We take a raw image, we check if the image is hazy or not. And if it is hazy, we apply pix-to-pix scan and ESR GANs to it, which helps us to enhance the image. After that, the ANPR takes place, which is automatic number plate recognition, and the output is given. So as you can see on your left, an input image wherein there is fog. Therefore, the camera is not able to read the number plate of the image clearly using the OCR. So what we've done here is we have dehazed the output, and then the ESR GAN output is there, which helps us to do the ANPR more efficiently. A second image would help you understand how it affects during the rainy conditions. So during the input, if you can see the input image, because of the rain, the picture is not clear. But our predicted image helps to ensure that the number plate recognition can be done correctly. You can also observe in the third image that a bounding box is formed on the number plate, and then OCR proceeds, wherein the number of the number plate is read and cross-referenced with the database, so that an e-challan can be sent to the violator.
That's pretty interesting. I'm really keen to know more. So, what more is there in this?
Right. So now my friend Garvit here will tell us about the parking space optimization that we have done.
Right, sir. So another problem which the common man faces is finding parking spaces. So we found out a statistic that an average person takes like 15 to 20 minutes to find a parking space whenever he's traveling. So what we've done is we've built a solution which incorporates overhead cameras to recognize empty parking spaces and filled ones. So this system can be installed anywhere where there's a parking space, any public parking spaces like near metros, near railway stations, and even malls and stuff. So now I would like to show you a simulation for this as well. And how this helps the user is basically you'll be able to know if there are any empty parking spaces nearby or not. And one of the issues this solves is also that, as we can see in India right now, there might be cars parked just beside the road, which is actually increasing the traffic by a lot. I would like to show you the simulation for the same. Right, sir. Can you see the simulation?
Yeah, it's there.
Okay, right, sir. So as you can see, our software has created a mask of all the parking spaces. In the top left, you can see a counter for the available parking spots. And in the top right, you can see the total number of cars which are present in the simulation. So basically, as soon as a car enters the parking spot, it increases the total number of cars. And we also have labeled each of the parking spaces so that it's easier for the user to understand where the parking space is exactly free. And as soon as a car parks in one of these spaces, it the counter goes down by one. And few of the suggestions we incorporated by our judges over there were like, if someone does a bad parking, suppose they are occupying two of the parking spots, then there should be an announcement on the speaker that this person needs to repark their car, so that there's no wastage of parking space. And if someone stops their car in the middle, it should make an announcement as well. So those were some features we incorporated as well.
Okay, great. That sounds really cool. So, what else?
Right. So moving on to the final part of our presentation, we thought that why only work on the roads when we have the air to fly? So we also ensured that there were some solutions that we did for the upcoming future technology, that is drone-based deliveries. And Garvit here would like to explain the same to you.
This is another novel part of a solution. So basically, there is no drone-based architecture which can be implemented right now immediately for drone deliveries. So what we tried to do is we implemented a path planning algorithm, and also we put out some pointers as to why drone deliveries are feasible, that why they are actually worth the money and worth the time as well. So I would like to start by a simulation as well. So as you can see, these obstacles, these cylinders you can see are obstacles, and the drone is path planning in real time a trajectory in which it can follow for a proper delivery. So this algorithm is called MONVO, which is a novel algorithm. It is called multi-object, multiverse algorithm. It's an optimization algorithm which helps us plan the path of the drone. It is a real-time algorithm, and we have incorporated obstacle avoidance as well. This is a simulation which we can see as the drone is moving according to the path planned originally. And as you can see, this is our simulation software, and it asks an OTP for the delivery as soon as it reaches the spot. And once you can type the OTP correctly, the drone lands. Right. And now we would like to show you trajectories. So these are the trajectories of the drone which the drone followed.
So adding to these trajectories, we can see that this algorithm plans the path according to the obstacles that are there in the real world. Okay, so it will avoid all the obstacles, and then it will give you the optimal path that is required to do the delivery.
One of the pointers presented to us was proving how it is feasible. So we also implemented our system so that we could plot the battery usage and the performance of the drone over time. So here we have a graph where you can see the voltage and current consumption of the drone, which is actually very less compared to what it would take to drive a scooty or a motorcycle. So as you can see, the drone deliveries are very environment friendly, sustainable, and they are the way of the future.
And of course, they also help us to reduce the carbon footprint. That is one of the leading causes for global warming in today's time.
Certainly, it seems drone is definitely the technology which will be much used in the future, and it is going to make quite a bit of difference. And another thing which could make a very big difference is your innovation. I could see a lot of transportation and logistics problems, getting solved by implementing all that you've done till now. Okay, so before we move further, tell me something. Do you think is there any comparative system which can be a challenge to your model that you have developed?
Right. So one of the future problems that we could see going on with our model is the problem of decentralized and centralized systems. So the thing is that I'd like to explain it to you in a more layman language. So in today's time, all the traffic signals that are there are somehow connected with each other. As in, if one signal goes red or green, the one in front of it or the one behind it or the ones surrounding it also follow a similar pattern for the mitigation of cars. The thing with this is a centralized system. In order to decentralize it, what we have done here is that we have tried to incorporate the density of cars in front of a traffic signal. But the limitation it comes with is that it is hackable. So we'll also have to install honeypots and other security systems to ensure that there is no violation in that kind of sense, if you can understand me.
So great. Another thing that comes to my mind is if there is a similar, see, a lot of things are happening on the not similar but on familiar grounds. Like for example, usage of drone in a particular manner. Okay, we can manage the trajectories in many number of ways. The car parking systems are there in certain other ways also. So do you think all these systems from different institutions or companies, they can be a challenge to your company whenever it comes up, whenever you are out there in the market? So all those could pose a challenge to what you have come up with.
I mean, sir, competition in the market is always there. So we as young innovators try to present the best thing that we can. But of course, if we are given a thumbs up to move forward with this project, then we'll get into the research of things that other companies are doing and look over our competition and ensure that we also become a competition to them.
Right, that's a great attitude. And talking about moving forward, I would like to know from you, what is your way forward? What have you thought about the future?
When we think about the future, it's about getting everything that we've done implemented, even if it's on a small scale, but taking the small steps to ensure that everything that we have done gets implemented. So for that, we're, trying to figure out solutions so that we can bring this to the practicality of, everyday life. And of course, we're also looking for different, stages wherein we can get funding and ensure that we can get this implemented right on the go.
So what does your heart say is how much time is it going to take for you to be in the market and start making an actual difference on ground?
Right, sir. So actually, this might be a really long-term project, and it can go for around 4 years or even 5 years. And we can see ourselves implementing things with the traffic, like smart traffic mitigation and even pedestrian crossings. We've thought a little more about it and would like to expand on our solutions even more as time progresses and make them even better.
Great. So that is the kind of optimism I want to have in you people. That's the reason I asked you this question. So be optimistic. I think your idea is wonderful. Your solution that you come up is awesome, and I would really like to see it happening on ground. And I wish you all the best going forward. And I wish, very soon you're able to do something on ground, which at least is a beginning, if nothing more. So, guys, congratulations on putting up whatever you have, and wish you all the best for your future. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you so
sir.
much. Our pleasure.
So that was a story of brilliance, determination, and innovation in the world of transportation and logistics. Subscribe our channel and stay updated as we take you on a journey into the future where ideas transform into reality. We'll be back soon. Goodbye.